How's it going, YouTube? Today we're going to be starting a large-scale equine farm here in Paris, Kentucky, located off of US 460. It's going to consist of 4-board oak fencing in the front. As you can see, they've got flags out, and that's from the state. And what's going to happen is they're going to be moving this 2-lane road into a 4-lane road here this year at some point, and it'll continue down past this big bur oak tree to the next fence line. This is about a 130-acre farm, I believe. All we're going to do is 4-board up front just for looks, and then we're going to have that'll be the first fencing, and then the second is going to be all consist of non-climb V-mesh. There's roughly around 5 miles, and there may be more here by the end of the job, especially with the tree pins. We didn't bid on them. Those are just pick and choose of what they want to do here. It's going to be a pretty good project for us. We've got actually 2 subcontractors coming out of, one of them's from Wisconsin, and the other one is from Indiana or Illinois, one of the 2. They've got Evos, and I'm just going to strictly have them drive the post, and then I'll have a few crews running behind, tying wire, building braces, stretching the fence, and then putting a top run on top of it. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a good project.
Raise your eyes, blue skies, let's move out. It's the first lift of the day. Just me and you, reach altitude. When we get there, we can play. Take my hand and make it count. Take a deep breath, we're going down. We'll break halfway, and I'll meet you back at the ground. Do you remember we were shaking and baking out there? And I know you're still shaking and baking, my friend.
So as we continue down the driveway, you're going to see a crossroads here. This field here is going to be just one big paddock from the road to the tree line down here, and then as we come around to the left, we're going to have several small half-acre paddocks just for turnout on your horses. This is going to be one major field. It's going to be the front half there, and then as we keep going back, there's going to be a bigger field back here. I think it's a mile in length all total, and then the farm just keeps continuing to the back on this road. It's very wet here, and I'm very fortunate that I'm going to have 2 tracked Evos in here driving my post. All my tractors that we use, they will rut up the farm, and as you can see, everything's freshly seeded, and I'm tracking up as I walk through here. So we've got 5 or 6 loads of posts coming in the next day or so. We're trying to prepare for the material delivery, and then I've got a young gentleman, we call him Chicken, with me today that works for me. He's going to help me lay out. That way when the Evos get here, we can rock on with it and get as much done as possible. My goal here is to get, I'm thinking 3,500 posts done in 8 days. If we can do that, that's going to be great. But one thing I do not like to do is to rush a project. if it hits rock, then we're going to drill to the proper depth to get that taken care of. So I'm going to let the Evos do their thing, and then I'll just come in right behind them and take care of the wire and the boards. We're located at the back of the project. Here we've got the one field that I told you guys about that's going to be about a mile long. It's going to come down here, and there's kind of like it's not really a lagoon, it's just a valley that we're going to go around, and then the paddock's going to end up kind of in the area that I'm in at the moment. And then we've got one more paddock that's going to go back here, and that will consist of this side of the property. And then we've got one more paddock that will be going in this area. My business that I created 10 years ago, we started small scale. Large scale, I'm not saying is always better. It's a headache. You've got a lot of material cost, labor cost, and this is what I specialize in, building large scale equine horse farms in central Kentucky. We also do large scale repair jobs. We stay on farms for months at a time repairing, and if I didn't have the 2 subcontracting crews coming in here today or this week, I probably wouldn't be able to do this project because all my equipment is spoken for, and I just can't pull those tractors and post drivers off those projects just to take care of this. So I've linked up with Farm Fence Solution with Luke Gibson and Leslie. They're great people. I'm a Tornado wire dealer here in Kentucky, so if you guys need any wire, just get with Sticks Fencing or Farm Fence Solutions, and we'll definitely take care of you on your tornado wire needs. We're at the barn area, and what we're going to be doing up here, Chicken's done laid out a bundle of old fencing plank there, and we're going to use the driveway to put all our material down on the ground instead of driving on the new seeded ground, just to protect from rutting the place up at the moment. It's a misty rain out today. It's just typical Kentucky weather. These are where the small paddocks are going to come up through here, and they're going to end close to this telephone pole, and then sitting right there at the skid steer, they're going to build a small tenant house for I think the farm manager may live in it. I don't know what their plans are for there. So once they get that house built, we're going to go around it with a fence and continue down to the very back of the property. I'm here with the world famous Chicken. Tell them a little bit about yourself, Chicken.
Well, I'm from Henry County. Mostly grew up logging, pulling horses, and raising tobacco.
There you go, boys. So what we got here is my 906 Cat wheel loader. We use it to unload our semis. The boards are about 6,000 pounds, and I broke several axles on tractors, so I thought about equipment for the longest time, and I come up with this. I was actually going to put a post driver on this, and it's kind of worked out better not having that, so I can take it from job to job and unload semis. We do have a grapple that we can put on it, and then we also have a Montana hammer driver, which we use on repair. We'll put on the front. It's a quick attach, so it works really well to reach over a wire fence and drive a post in the ground. Hey guys, one of our trucks just arrived. What we've got here is 6 by 7.5 face post. This is our white oak that we'll be using for the road front, and then more face post for the front. I like using face post because you've got more surface area to nail to, and then also it's a much cleaner look. We are not going to be putting face boards on this. We're just going to be putting the boards as close together as we can, and then they'll come back behind in 6 months and paint it. Preserve the oak. The posts are treated. You guys, I've dealt with Olympia Lumber and Post for 8 or 10 years, and this company here really takes care of me. I called them yesterday and told them I needed 5 or 6 loads of post, and here they are the next morning to deliver the post. They have a really good product. By no means are they perfect posts. We don't deal with those here in Kentucky very much because of the cost. We put up, several thousand posts on a project, and it's just not feasible for us to spend a lot of money on a perfect post, which I do like. But for the farms, they're not going to spend the money to have that. They'll paint them, and they'll last 30 years or better, as long as they're taking care of it. The worst thing for our posts and boards are the horses. They chew on them, and that really tears the post up. On this location right here, where we've run our string, we have a sharp point here. What we want to do is eliminate that sharp point. So what I do is just come back just a few feet, and I'll slightly curve that with a can of paint. It's all done by eye. That way when you're coming down the road looking at the fence, you're not going to see points in the fence. You're going to see a real nice gradual curve, and then it continues on up the hill. And what Chicken's doing down here, he's got a tape measure and a can of paint, and he's putting marks at every 7 foot 10 inches. That way we can lay out our post at the exact spot that they're going to be driven, and the post drivers will come right behind us and put it on that mark. You can use flags, you can use paint, whatever you desire to use, and he'll just drag his tape measure and hit that same spot and then put a mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how I do this. This is another point here we have in our fence by this flag. I'm going to take my can of paint and I'm going to just make a slight curve so it's not at a point. A point in board fencing just doesn't look good. Don't worry about messing up, because the thing about paint is you can just wipe it out with your feet and redo it. There's only one way you can learn to do this, and that's to practice. So as you can tell, that white stake is where our line is. I just put me a little slight bend in there. That way when we put our boards on, it's just going to roll really nice back into the next line. Alright, so we're rounding up doing the road front here. We've got our string ran to the next fence line, and now we have a dilemma. Is this bur oak tree here? And what we have come up with, instead of just putting the fence in front of it, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the back end of it and then come up on the other side. A real nice gentle curve around and back to it. That way we don't have to build a tree pen really close to a fence line where only probably a lawnmower could go through. And plus the safety of the horses. If you put between the two distance a tree pen, you're not going to be able to have enough, and if you block it in, then that just means you're going to have somebody get in there and weed eat. So I'm going to turn the camera over here to Chicken, and he's going to follow me as I do this line. Well, we had a little difficulty with the camera, but what I done was picked a couple vantage points to go around this tree. I used a can of paint and just free-handed what I'd done here. And it's just take your time doing it. You know, if you don't like what you drew there, which it's hard to tell. There we go. So you got your orange marks. Don't pay attention to the one on the left. I basically did a nice curve around this tree. And then we'll come back up the hill. And then tie back in to the string there. I think that's going to be a pretty good gentle curve. There's going to be a little bit of tightness there by the tree, but I think we've got it down what we want to achieve here. Alright guys, we just got Jerry Hershey here with Hershey Fencing. He just arrived with his Evo. And you can tell how muddy it is. That's from my wheel loader dropping the post. And then these tracks right here are just from where the Evo went up the hill, and it's going to really help us out in this wet weather. What do you guys think?
It's a little rainy.
A little rainy?
Yeah.
It feels like we're in the UK again. So what? Scotland. Scotland. It was Scotland. So the guys are laying out posts, and he's getting ready to start his first post, which is right up against the fence. we've got posts laid out, and the guys are up there laying out more. So the line that we run earlier, they're going to lay everything out, and that way these guys, all they can do, or all they will be doing, is focusing on driving their posts. So he's going to set his first post here, and I've got them in a set of briars, and I don't think they're too happy with it, but we're just going to let them go and get a little prickly there for a minute. If you're slightly interested in fencing or want to know more about fencing techniques, like and subscribe my channel, Sticks Fencing. We're also a Tornado dealer here in Kentucky, and we would appreciate you guys if y'all just throw the thumbs up and like, and stay tuned for the next episode of the new farm install on US 460.